Evening, everyone, and welcome to West Ham Reunited. I'm Andy. Jazz has decided to have a little rest because we've got another show later. So he's sitting there on the bench. So he's gave me the responsibility. But I've got two people. I've got a regular who's on the show, James from E20 Zone TV. How are you, sir?
Good, mate. Good. Happy from Sunday's win, and well
Yeah,
done, Geg.
yeah, no, definitely. And we've got the first time on the show. We've got Jordan. I've done a transfer and I've worked with Jordan a couple of times on Jake. So I thought get Jordan on the show tonight. Thanks for coming on, Jordan. How are you?
Absolute pleasure, mate. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good to be on. I'm doing good, thank you. And yeah, buzzing from the win on Sunday.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. And the games are going quicker, thick and fast. I didn't realise we're playing City next week as well. I totally forgot about it until they sent me the club. The club was like, "Oh, do you still want to get?" I was like, "No, I've got my ticket." But when they sent the reminders through. But before we get into the main show, I'd like to thank our channel sponsor, Glazewise. Anyone in the Essex, Kent, London area, windows, doors, conservatories, Johnny's your man. And if you mention us, West Ham United, you get a discount. What more can you ask for? And John's a mad West Ham fan as well, so it'll definitely help you out. And of course, as well, the plug, what we always like to do, Jazz has been speaking to John from Iron Supporting Food Bank, so we thought we'd give him a shout out as well. Any donations, small or large, and you can even go and speak to them. They're at the Aquatic Centre on the way to London Stadium, so definitely go and give them a shout out. So, boys, thought I'd talk about Michail Antonio. I've seen a few people on Twitter over the like I just said to you off air. I'm not going to name and shame because I think they probably want the attention. But then I've started to think Michail Antonio has been at the club a very, very, very long time, and I thought let's talk about him. So obviously he signed in last year at the Bowling on transfer deadline day with Victor Moses. I'm going to be honest. When we signed him, I thought, why are we signing him? To be perfectly honest, we had a few mixed reviews. But we'll start with you, James. It seems like a long time ago. What did you reckon when we first signed him?
I was quite happy with that we signed him, mate. He was an exciting winger, pace, £7 million from Nottingham Forest, I think it was. Yeah, he's been great. He's been like for what he has done, he's done very well. Do you know what I mean? He's played in as we're going to get into in the show. Like he's played in multiple positions, and he's been phenomenal for us, mate. Really. And let's be honest, we've had club legends out here at West Ham, like Di Canio, like COYI, people like that, and he's sort of surpassed all these sort of people for goals and in such a short space of time, really.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more, mate. What about you, Jordan, mate?
I think yeah, going back to when we first signed him, be honest, I didn't know a huge amount about Antonio. But I looked at his player profile, his age, and the fee we bought him for, and I thought, well, he'll be a good squad player for the next year or two. I didn't envisage him being this far down the line. I didn't think he would still be at West Ham, but the fact he is and the player he is now, it's like for me, yeah, he's a great bargain in terms of what we paid for him and the value we've got out for him, and now he's our main man. So yeah, I think it's been an incredible 6 or 7 years we've had him.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. I couldn't agree more. And you can just sort of see. I know the pictures probably don't give it justice because obviously that one's the third season. Obviously the picture here on the left and then on the right, he just looks. When he first signed, I was like, "Corey's a lump," but now he seems to be more of a normal lump, if that makes sense. Not big like a Dama Traore lump, so to speak, as well. But I just want to mention here, like you said, we're going to be talking about Antonio from the start to finish. But I totally agree what Kent's saying here. He shouldn't start on Thursday. We'll just quickly do a James for you. No starter.
Nah, not for me, mate. We all know he scores goals against Spurs, so keep him for Spurs basically on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Jordan, do you agree?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think in terms of the Europa League, I think we've had the hardest game, which was away to Dynamo Zagreb, really. So this is a good opportunity, I think, for some of the squad players to can be experimented with. So yeah, I would if I was Moyes, I would rotate the squad, trying to win the game, but with also one eye on Sunday as well, because we have to beat Tottenham at home. That's our biggest game of the season.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. I agree. And Mike, evening, Mike, mate. Hope you're well. And Michael also agrees. So, gentlemen, I've been doing my Jordan. Bless him. He went, "Do you want any help with the homework?" And I was like, "Just think of stuff like that." But I've been doing my little bit of homework. So we'll start. Look at him there. Look how different he looks compared to him now in his first season.
Trim there, no?
Yeah, no, definitely. So as you can see here, he made 32 appearances for us in that season, 9 goals, 5 assists. But the thing what amazes me, obviously, as he goes on, you sort of notice he becomes more of a centre forward. But look at the positions he played: 12 in right midfield, 10 at right back, 6 as right wing, and 3 as left midfield. So it's a mad one, isn't it? Really, when you think how versatile he's been.
It is really. I must admit, when you sort of weigh it up like that, he's been 9 goals. He sort of always gets between 5 and 9, doesn't he? In like 5 and 10 in a season. Like, so yeah, he's it's unbelievable, really.
That's a good return for the positions he played first season. Plus, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Slav was hell bent on making him like a right back. You know, he was hell bent, I think, on making him converting him to a right back. But yeah, you look at the positions he played that year.
And he actually, just to cut in there, Jordan, he actually turned around and said to Slav, if I remember rightly, he said, "If you keep putting me right back, I want to leave.
Yeah,
I don't want to be a right back."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it just shows you his attitude that he can do a job there. Not that, you know, we want him at right back, but, you know, it just shows how good a player he is for £7 million to be put all over the field and still performing. Like I said, 32 appearances, 9 goals, 5 assists. That's a good return for a new player at the club, playing all those positions on top of it.
Evening, Jake. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm a little bit late, but Josh and Sean had a debate about somebody called Oliver Skip. We've got no idea who he is, but I'm here. Hello.
Right, Jake, this is going to put some... So, 2015 and 16, so how old were you then? Do you remember Michail Antonio when he signed?
Flipping a heck. What was I, 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I don't even know. What's that, 7? I was 8 or 9.
Wow. Do you remember him at the last year at the Bowling, or was that pushing it a bit far for you?
That's pushing it a bit high.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I can just about remember that season and being told the one thing I can remember from that season is because the last game at the Bowling was delayed 45 minutes, whatever. I couldn't watch it. They sent me to bed. The parents sent me to bed.
Oh, how dare you,
really?
Mr. Cox? And I can see he's in the bit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I didn't know your dad was that harsh.
And you know all the secrets here.
Yeah.
Definitely. Truth comes out on West Ham Reunited.
Obviously, there's a few memories from this season, obviously, just because it was the last year. Sorry, Hammerhead, I'll come to your comment in a sec, sorry. There was a few, obviously that season was memorable anyway, the last year at the Bowling, but I remember, obviously, James, we mentioned it off air, the goal at Tottenham, Upton Park, sorry.
Yeah.
The 1-0 win, obviously getting Tottenham winning. The one what springs to my mind, because I just remember how much of a bullet of a header it was, the Liverpool header at home.
Yeah, Liverpool.
What a header that was when he just bullied them and smashed it in. And obviously the Simpsons celebration come out when we beat Big Sam as well. So there were the sort of memories from me. And obviously his first goal. Do you remember his first goal? Gents.
Southampton, it was a bit of a loopy deflection.
Yeah, when it fell and it went.
Most luckiest goal you ever likely to see ever.
Yeah. No, definitely. But no, I just thought this is what I love. Like I said, I know we said we we're going to do history, but obviously it is a part of our history, and just bringing back these memories. Do you know when you just start thinking of stuff off the top of your head of of what he's done? But do you know what I've sort of remember? It's like you said. I remember that Southampton game. He was playing pretty much as the left winger, but how close he was to Andy Carroll. And the Liverpool, they just bullied him. And just a shame we didn't see more of them together, really, wasn't it?
It was, but then you've got to understand that we had Sacco there and all, I think. We had Sacco there, we had Carroll there. We had some good players there. And like when you think about it, even though he was our left winger or even right winger, he was in a good team then. That final season at Bowling, obviously had Pyatt in there, Victor Moses, obviously Cress, Bonner. Right. Yeah, we had some good players, and I must admit, for him to sort of come away, but I remember the Spurs game well because it was a game, especially at the final game at Upton Park, that we didn't want to lose. We didn't want to lose. We didn't want to get beat by them, especially in the final game at Upton Park, and he done the job for us and got the 1-0 win.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just read some comments and then we'll get to the years that. The fact that Antonio has played all over the pitch for West Ham gives me more confidence that when the team is behind the ball, so many different positions, as a striker that can defend. Yeah, I agree there. I've seen Antonio play before he come to us. Brilliant signing. He should have played for England. Good servant. Yeah, no, I agree. And people are just saying hello to each other.
If you're a West Ham player, you don't make it into the England squad, do you?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Unless you're Declan Rice, you can't not pick Declan Rice. But
yeah, and I'll tell you what, gents,
we're talking about this season.
Yeah,
right. Even Carroll had a good year this year. Noble had a great season. Kress and Tompkins, none of them went to the Euros that year, did they?
Yeah, definitely. And another performance, what springs to mind, because I remember this is when he actually played right back, was the 3-3 game with Arsenal. He terrorised them that day, and obviously he set up Carroll for his hat trick as well, and he literally bullied them to hell. So, yeah, no, great memories. Jake, we're slowly going up each season, so you're going to start to slowly remember them. Before I go, Antonio's header against Liverpool was one of my favourite goals. Yeah. Thank you, Clive. Right, let's move on to this season. The 2016, our first year at the London Stadium. Jake, memories getting better now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can remember this season because he scored. Yeah, you see there 37 appearances. He's got 9 goals, 6 assists there. I can remember that this season it wasn't hugely fantastic, but he was one of the shining lights this season, I do believe, and he scored the first goal inside the London Stadium, and he scored the first goal with the fancy dancy new carpet as well. He just makes history. He just makes roles. He just carries on doing what he does best.
No, definitely.
Who was the first goal against, Jake?
Was it Bournemouth?
Yeah, ding, ding, ding.
Well done, Jake.
You win a point, mate. Well done.
Yeah, everyone else in the chat as well. We've got quite good numbers in the chat, so let us know with your memories of Antonio. Even in other seasons, I'm happy to put them up. Like you said, this is an appreciation for what Antonio done for us that season. Jake, do you remember how his goal went in against Bournemouth?
Oh, Christ, you're pushing it now. I don't know.
I do.
Probably a header. Probably a header, I suppose.
Yeah, it was our signing of the season. Gökhan Toure picked the ball up on the left-hand side and pinged the ball back to the back post, and there was Antonio. And then he done the Macarena.
Traumatises me, that does. Toure, God.
Gökhan Toure's balmy arm.
Yeah, and then obviously he done the Macarena dance as well. So, Jordan, do you remember? Was you at that game, or do you remember anything, or talk about anything about that season before I go to James?
God, what games were like? That was the season before I had my season tickets. Actually, I was on the waiting list at this point. So right. I did. What games did I go to? I went to Man City away actually, and Antonio scored that day. He scored another header.
Masuaku, same sort of goal, wasn't it? Pretty much a header. Yeah, Masuaku with a ball in that one.
But yeah, I can remember watching this game on the TV, and there being a lot of hype, obviously with it being the first Premier League game and stuff. But like Jake said, not an overly great season, to be honest. But I think, Antonio was one of the few players that did shine that season.
James, for you, mate?
The Bournemouth game was obviously the first goal, good crossing. But that season was dreadful for all of us, I must admit. We didn't have a really good record, and we was lucky to stay in the league. I can't really remember any sort of outstanding things, because if you look on, obviously, where you've got the positions, he's played literally near enough everywhere on the pitch, like centre forward, left back, attacking midfield, right back, right wing back. But that was like the start of something with him. I wouldn't say he was starting to sort of come into his own a little bit, and obviously there was other players at the club who, people like Enner Valencia was there, and who else was there?
Maguli.
Zaza, people like that. Gokhan, who you mentioned, Norvite.
Jonathan Kaleri.
Yeah, and you got some of the worst players that you've ever sort of pushed all together. Do you know what I mean? But
Was Arbeloa this season, or was that the next?
Arbeloa was there.
He was.
Yeah.
Jake keeps looking like what?
I think even Evra was there. I think even Patrice Evra was there and all at one point.
I will just quickly say, Andy. Actually, I remember I went to Swansea away this season, and we beat him 4-1, and he scored that day as well. To be fair, so he had a good
I'm gonna mention it, and you'll probably know straight away because obviously it was a memorable game as well. Liverpool away. Do you remember his goal at Liverpool away?
Mm-hmm.
With Pyatt's free kick as well, and Pyatt's free kick as well.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the memory for me. What stands out for me, but like you said, sorry, I should have said this at the start. This is in all competitions as well, but I just thought I'd let you know as well. But obviously, we don't really go far in these competitions anyway, so it probably is roughly all Premier League games. Let's have a look at Kent. Kent's got a songing.
He came from Forest, he couldn't get a game. He played at right back, it just wasn't the same. Out on the wing, stand back and watch him go. He scores for West Ham, Michail Antonio. Michail Antonio. There you go.
Blimey.
Me and Jake, we're going to be at Villa away as well, won't we, mate?
Yes, Villa away.
I love an away day.
Oh, who doesn't?
I've got to try. I only live in Worcester. I need to get some tickets for that.
Are you a member? We always go off of the ticket exchange group on Facebook. That people are flogging them like hell, mate.
Oh, I'll have to get on that because I've only got about 5 points on my season tickets, so
they've all gone. I got mine in the ballot. I've got 12 points, and they didn't even go down to 12 points.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah,
I'll have to join that group see if there's any tickets.
I'll send you the link, mate. After, it's definitely great. Breaking news. We've got some breaking news.
Oh, dearie me. Simon, disappointment.
Oh, Simon. I was at the Astra. Oh, God. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Astra jersey. What?
Should we move on quickly to the next season? Shall we?
17-18.
Here we go.
Crikey, look at him there.
Yeah, I know.
That's all he got in that season. I thought we would have got more than that.
This is the season when he pulled up bad, when he was out for like 6 months. Do you remember? Can't remember. Kent will probably tell me the fixture when he pulled up.
Yeah. So disappointing. And you look at it and all the injuries he's had in his career, just not only at West Ham as well. You think if he had that out of him, if you put these injuries to the side, he played week in, week out for all of these seasons, where would he be now? Incredible.
Or if he played as a centre forward.
Well, exactly. Not playing right midfielder, central forward, right winger, left mid, striker, right back. He even played left back that season and all.
Was that the season when Moyes came in towards the end of the season?
That's it. Yeah.
That's again, yeah.
And if Bilic got the sack in November, I remember being at the Liverpool game, we got smashed 4-1, and then at the end of the game, that was the end of Bilic.
And then Moyes come in, and then that was when we had Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Mario.
Arnautovic went up front.
Reece Burke, I think, was in our squad at one stage. Obviously, he was there. But yeah, he did get injured. I can't remember who got injured. Who did he get injured against, Andy? Do you remember?
Yeah. I can't remember. Hopefully Kent will tell us.
I know he did get injured bad there.
Yeah, no, this season's a bit of a blur for me as well, to be honest. Obviously, like you said, Bilic getting a sack, we wasn't really playing that well, but obviously to get 21 appearances, I think that was probably the main reason why we didn't really do so well either. The fact that he didn't feature, and obviously just the 3 goals and 1 assist, which is obviously a not really a good turnout, really. So this is a season probably where you really write it off, really.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, where did he play most there? He's always played sort of right midfield, isn't he? Right on the right hand side. He's never been on the. He very rarely goes on the left, but yeah, he's done well.
Definitely. So we're going to move on because this season's rubbish. And we're going to move into the season where it all was meant to change, apparently, when a certain Chilean come in to manage us to take us to the next level.
Oh,
But
that's a lovely photo, though. What a game!
We have this game.
Yes.
Should we talk? Should we get straight into it?
First goal at the Toilet Seat Stadium. Sorry, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Malfunction.
Memories, Jake? Do you remember this one?
I can. What I can remember, I went into this Spurs game especially, and a couple of Spurs mates, I said, we will win this game. I will bet anything, I said, we will win this game. You know, when you get a feeling, when you're adamant that something's going to happen, I was adamant. I thought, there is no way we are leaving that stadium without 3 points. And it had to be Michail Antonio. He had to do a stupid Mickey taking celebration, didn't he? And the one thing, if only we would have been there for that goal. I suppose that was incredible to be in that away end.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't there either. James, what about your memories on this one, mate?
Amazing performance, mate. It's one of the best performances I remember at White Hart Lane. Apart from the 3-0 many years ago when Ravel Morrison went through and bagged the third for us. This performance up there at White Hart Lane, I'll never forget it. It was April time, 2019, sorry, and it was a thoroughly enjoyable performance. We had to defend the last sort of 3 minutes, literally camped in our own box near enough, but we managed to get the job done, and that was really the start, really, of Michail Antonio as that sort of focal point up front, I must admit. And Natovic was still there, and they was playing well together, I must admit.
Yeah, no, definitely. Evening, Peter. Hope you're well, mate. And Kent, you're just saying, yeah, I did, Kent. Yeah, so that's why I'm up to that amount of points now. Like I said, hopefully I'll be on my way up as well. Obviously, I went in the ballot for the Villa game, so I got that ticket as well. So I'm slowly working my way up. I just stopped going for a while, and I think that's paying the penalty. And I was at that. Kent, what an atmosphere! Because I remember this game being on Sky, and Ginge was in the studio. I think it was with Ledley King, and Ginge at the end of the game just had a big, massive smirk on his face as well. And obviously, to be the first person to score and also get the first win there, it was great times. Considering that season was very average, to say the least, wasn't it? We was up and down under Pellegrini, and I remember this was the game when Issa Diop went all the way through and nearly scored. Do you remember?
Yeah. That was the real first season, really. That was a poor season, that one, if I remember rightly, because we got knocked out against a lower league team. I can't remember which one it was.
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. Yeah, I think it was Wimbledon. Yeah, and we was. It wasn't good in the camp, let's put it like that. And Natovic was umming and ahhing when we wanted to stay or go. And then he sort of stayed. And then, it was one of them seasons where, but I must admit, for him personally, Antonio, it was a turning point. Even though he only scored 7 goals and 7 assists, he was sort of like a vocal point all of a sudden. Like, he'd gone from the season before not playing many games to now he's playing, what was that, 35 appearances, 18 appearances, sorry. So, it's night and day, isn't it?
One more game that I can remember from this season was, I think if my memory serves me right, this was the season where we beat Huddersfield 4-3 at home, where we were like 3-1 down, and then we came back and we won it 4-3 against Huddersfield, and everybody was going ballistic. And I'll never forget it. We have some where we sit in the London Stadium. There's some probably proper Cockney geezers behind us, and they just smiled and says, "Why are we celebrating so much? We've just beaten the worst Premier League side I've seen in a long time." Never forget that. That was a mad game. But
obviously as well. Sorry, Jake, I missed this comment because we got distracted. Your dad's asking, are you singing the Bowen song next?
I'll leave that to you, Andy. Go on.
No, I can't. It's not after 9 o'clock, mate. I'm not getting a strike.
Getting a strike.
No, more like I would.
No, you wouldn't.
But no, what a song that was. What a song that was.
absolutely class. And you could see when he came over at the end, there was a wry smile when he wasn't.
Oh, with him and Nolan, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we can all probably guess what Nolan was speaking into his ear. Like, you're walking all the way over here, and there's only one song they're singing.
Yeah. Before we move on, does anyone remember anything from this season, Jordan? Can you, or is this proper homework? Isn't it? I've probably put you on the spot as well.
Yeah, I would. Well, I think away win at Tottenham, first team to win there as an away side. That's the highlight. Obviously, Mickey getting the first goal as an away player. But aside from that, I mean, I remember we lost the first 4 games. We were sitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
I think for me, the other away performance that stuck out to me that season was I went up to Everton that year, and that was our first win, and we smashed them 3-1.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of his very few best games he's ever had. And Yarmolenko, the first half, Everton couldn't cope with him, and we were 2-0 up, and then obviously Arnie got the third. But yeah, it was a very below average season for us. We had good results and good moments. The comeback win against Southampton was pretty good over Christmas that season. I think we would beaten 2-1. Anderson turned up that day, but yeah, not a lot to cheer about, I don't think, really that year. But
amongst the rubbish that season, we had some good performances. I'm just having a look at some of the results that season. We beat Man United this season.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
We did, 3-1. We beat United.
That was a great game.
Yeah,
I think we beat Chelsea and all. I think we beat Chelsea.
Yeah, Arnie scored his first goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So we finished 10th this season. Amongst the rubbish, there was some decent performances, but overall, not a fantastic season.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, like I said, great. But I thought, like you said, I didn't want to keep this too long, but obviously these next 2 is probably where we'll talk about Mickey the most, and I think this is the moment when we sort of said what a player is turning into. We'll start with you, James, this season. This is obviously. Do you remember much about this one, mate?
Yeah. I remember that he loved to hit the post quite a lot, I must admit. And he was what it is with Antonio is he's decent, but in front of goal sometimes he's a bit all over the place. Like, he's not technically very good, but he's like robust. He's like he'll run through brick walls for you, no problem. But if he was to sort of have a shot or something, and he'll probably go in Rose Head or somewhere. But listen, I think he done pretty well in this season, I must admit. And this is when he was started to be deployed. If I remember rightly, Moyes come in at the beginning of 2020, and that was New Year's Day, and that was against Bournemouth, the 4-0 win.
Brilliant.
And that was when Haller. But even at the start of the season, it was poor from us. Like we won over at Southampton on my birthday. I remember that in December. When a little inconsistent period, then Moyes come in. We lost against Leicester over that time and all. And then Moyes come in and he started to sort of change it a bit. He signed Bowen and Souček to help Antonio, and it sort of helped us to stay in the league. And obviously, COVID it in March, and then the game. Then saying that, in the summertime, he scores 4 goals at Norwich. So yeah, he was very good.
Jordan?
I think the main thing with the stats you've got there, the one that sticks out to me is he is quite clearly then deployed in that centre forward position, and that's where I think you can start to see a slight increase in the goals. The assists, obviously they're going to take a dip slightly, but I think this season was where you could start to see him go into his peak. I think he's a bit of a late bloomer in terms of what you would define the peak of his career, but I mean, we'll come on to it for this season, but I think, what he was just saying about Antonio's technical side of his game has always been a bit lacking, but I think that's something he has improved on. But this season, the 4 goals against Norwich stands out. Did he score against Chelsea at home that season as well? when Yarmolenko scored the late winner, but did he score? I can't remember if he did or not.
Oh,
He
scored. He did.
He did score. He scored the second goal, and
Yeah.
he should have had a penalty.
That was it. Yeah, it was a drilled cross, and he got himself up because I thought he was appealing for a foul, and he got himself in the box. So yeah, no.
Because I think he scored like 7 in his last 9 or something, wasn't it? It was something stupid because he got the 10th at Old Trafford, didn't he, with a penalty?
Yes.
It's mad to think that this is like last like June and July, isn't it? Like when you think about this season, it's a bit of a.
I'm sitting here thinking, like because obviously with COVID and all that, it's mucked it all up. We had to play
season, really, didn't it? To be honest.
Yeah, we had to play like a mini season and then start in sort of late October last year. Do you know what I mean? So.
And then we did have that big deciding game against Watford as well at home. He scored the opening goal in that 3-0 win against Watford with that left foot shot on the turn as well. So that was a huge game with a lot of pressure on that game. And I think that was probably one of our best performances that season, just in terms of the pressure he was under going into the game and needing to win, and completely dominated that game. But he had a good game that game as well. I think that's when Rice scored that bullet from the outside the box, if I remember correctly.
Go on, Jake. Sorry, before I get into the comments, what about you, mate? Because obviously, this is probably when you first started your channel, then, really, wasn't it? Around this time.
Yeah. I started doing a few vlogs on what I called it previously. Then around this season, a couple of games that I can remember. Just looking back through the results was certainly the game that James mentioned. We were there for New Year, New West Ham. We all thought when David Moyes came in that 4-0 thumping of Bournemouth, that was really, really good. That game, I was definitely impressed with that. I think it was Aston Villa away where Mike Dean sent off a Masuaku off, and for some reason, I think that was a typical Mike Dean decision, really. But overall an okay season. Obviously, we had David Moyes coming back. Pellegrini was sacked in late December. Thank the Lord. We beat Man United in this season again. Famous win. Yeah, such a West Ham thing. I'm just having a look through. On the 22nd, we beat Man United at home, and then 3 days later, we lost to Oxford United in the EFL Cup third round 4-0.
You couldn't write it, could you?
But that season, though, one thing I will say about that season is Fab got an injury at Bournemouth, and it just derailed us. And we had this all remember our great goalkeeper Roberto.
I thought we were getting through it without mentioning that geezer.
I know, but this is a history channel, and we've got to go back to history.
It's more of a nightmare, not history. Definitely
one of the worst goalkeepers ever.
Right, we'll just quickly go through these comments. This is Kent. I've got 50 points now on the season ticket, but 20 years going every game. Wow, Kent, you are a proper hammer, mate. I think trying to attend every home game every year is a challenge for me, to be perfectly honest. This was Deck's real breakthrough season in midfield. Jazz said thanks for coming on. He's actually revising through his exam, but listening. Kent's highlight for this season is Southampton at home and Arsenal away. Stick to mind because of the lockdown. Mike said Bournemouth at home as well, and Jazz and Kent are talking about tickets. So,
ticket talk.
Last season, what a year it was, and let's move on to the stats. Here we go. Totally different. 1 position, 27 appearances, 10 goals, and 5 assists. We'll start with you, Jordan. Last season, any particular game? What springs to mind where Antonio was a beast as usual?
There's lots to choose from, but I would probably go Leicester away. I know he scored the header, but I remember watching that game and he absolutely destroyed their back four, especially the 2 centre-backs. They just couldn't cope with him all afternoon. He was an absolute beast that day. But there's plenty of other games, but the one that sticks out to me would definitely be Leicester away.
Jake?
I was just thinking, and then I realised there's only one real game I can go to, and it was the Man City at home game. The ball came into the box. I believe it was Jared Bowen put it in. Got the right side of Ruben Diaz, and whatever you want to call it, bicycle scissor kick, whatever you want to call it, into the back of the net to get us a point that day. And that day does stick out to me because that was I believe that day was the properly when I started going on YouTube. I went on Reunited for the first time that day. That's when it all started. But
Wow.
But fantastic, just his presence there, and a couple of times that season when he came back into the 11, I'm like, oh, it's just so refreshing to see him back in the lineup. Just to see him with his hold up play, with everything there. We miss it when he's not in there, and he's got the power, but he's got the finesse at times. He's got the finish, and he's got them magic moments like he produced in that Man City game.
Yeah. James, what about you, mate?
There's a few games I do remember, but not for him scoring any goals. I remember the Crystal Palace away game when he hit the post 4 times. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
That was a crazy game. I do remember a couple of games with him, like not so much scoring the goals because that's very hazy. But I remember like Jesse Lingard coming in and his first game with Jesse Lingard up at Villa. And I must admit, Lingard, Benrahma and Antonio were very, very good that night, I must admit. I watched that game and it was one of the best performances I've seen West Ham play for a long time. I think Leeds home and away last season, I thought he was good. What was the other one? There was another game where he played really, really well. Even the Arsenal game, even Burnley away.
Yeah, that's what Kent said here. Burnley away, ruined Tarkowski. Yeah, he did that day, didn't he?
But and I think even the Tottenham game, like we've got Jesse Lingard in the team. He comes out, he scores the goal, his trademark goal against Spurs, and got us on the way. Do you know what I mean? But he was phenomenal last year. But he should have had double. Like obviously he's got 10 there. He should have had 20 easily. He hit the post about 20 times last season, which was unbelievable.
Yeah. And Kent's just added as well, and we should have got a penalty versus Man City that day. Yeah, dodgy VAR.
Ken, how can you remember that? Honestly, I can barely remember what happened last week. No wonder what happened a year ago. Whether we should have had a penalty.
But like you said, I know I've got the stats up here. Maybe I should have got a bit more instead of just the goals and assists. But like what you said there, James, as well, and Jordan, like it's what he does off the ball, bringing other people's into play. Like the assists go very unnoticed in my opinion. And like you said, I know we're going to get on to this season in a second, but there's a few games this season already. What springs to mind where you actually see Michail Antonio from the start of last season to what he is now. I think that's a big jump as well. What about you guys? What do you reckon? Or do you reckon it's sort of been slow? I reckon it's a big jump from last year.
I think he's made a big jump because he's got a lot more finesse in his game now. I think, his first touch is a lot better. Game that springs to mind is the winner against Leeds. That first touch and then to slot it past the keeper. I think he's a lot more composed in front of the goal than what he used to be. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think a couple of times this season we thought, the game evades me where we went on a break and then he probably would have done last season or the season before, just had a rash shot at it, but had the awareness just to slot it off to, I think it was Fornals who put it in the back of the net. He's just seemed to gain that composure that he's in front of goal, which has really, really helped him to add to his game, where he did have a wayward shot at Everton from outside of the box. You're never going to get that out of him because he just loves having a shot and he always puts it in Rose head. Just let him be, but he's definitely gained this season a lot more composure and a lot more awareness in front of goal.
James?
It's an hard one with me. It is really hard with me. I think he's been very good, but he acts on instinct rather than technical ability. When the ball comes into him sharp, proved it against Leicester, but for both goals that he scored, he's turned the shot, and another one is like, it's instant. It's like when he's got time to think about something, then he don't like that shot against Everton at the weekend. For example, we had time to think about what he was going to do, and he ended up knocking out the old Stewart in the top tier. But he's been good. He's been good, but he needs help. That's one thing I will say. He can't play every game like all the time because he just can't do it. There's going to be times where he's not going to be on form, or if he's not on it, then he needs to come away. But he's been phenomenal for us this year so far, and long may that continue.
Yeah, and that brings us swiftly on to this game this year. So obviously, so far this season, this is in all competitions, by the way. 9 appearances, 6 goals, and 1 assist. You sort of touched on, obviously, less the ones what spring to mind, but the one what springs to mind for me is obviously the opening day. Jake, me and you were there at Newcastle away when he smashed that goal in, and the standing ovation he got as he left that pitch. And I think what a perfect start to the season.
Oh, he was incredible that day. Just his presence and everything there, and that really did finish off a perfect performance, not only for Michail Antonio but for West Ham that day. The way we did that break from Ben Rama to Antonio to the back of the net, it was fantastic. And I got it on film as well, which is always good for the vlog. But yeah, it was really, really good. And Newcastle fans got bored of us singing Antonio, but we didn't care. As he walked up, he looked to the sky, he looked to the heavens, gave us a clap. We gave him a clap because all season he's been fantastic, and I think almost this season as well, I think he's got past his when's he going to get injured stage a couple of times, especially when he really went full power at Everton, and then slipped over, got back up again, slipped over, and then kept on going. And then 2 minutes later, I love the man, but Craig Dawson lofted a 40-yard ball over his field, and he went like this, like, for God's sake, what are you doing? Yeah. I'm not running after that, mate. But I feel like he might have just got some of that out of him. His injury, whatever you want to call it, with his hamstrings. It will pull at some point this season. Hopefully not anytime soon. But yeah, fantastic so far this season. He's up there with the leaders for the Golden Boot. I know we're only 8 games in, but it's almost. But that's always a good place to be. And he just keeps on going.
Yeah, Jordan.
I think he's definitely already on 6 goals, and he's got an assist, so he's certainly banging the goals in. But I don't want us to be too reliant on him.
Yeah.
For the European campaign as well as the league, because touching on what Jake said as well, we do need to manage his game time, and Moyes is doing it well so far. But I don't know what other people feel like, but I feel like when we take Antonio off or we don't play him, I feel like we don't have anything up top. I think what we do have comes from the wide areas or comes from Ben Rama or Bowen. And that's not Antonio's fault or the players' fault. That's down to the owners not getting their hands in their pockets and buying a good backup striker. So when Antonio's out, it's like, okay, well, Antonio's not playing today, but we've got so-and-so to cover for him. Because I feel, as great as he is, we are placing too much emphasis on him. And as soon as he does get injured, or if he does get injured, we're screwed, I think, personally, because there isn't that recognisable number 9 to come in when he doesn't play.
Yeah, definitely. James?
I totally agree with what Jordan just said there, mate. Really do. I don't want to be dependent on Antonio to play 30, 35 plus games in the season. Obviously, the owners have got a lot to answer for when it comes to sort of things like that. But with him, when he's not there, we're not the same team, and we're relying on wingers, as Jordan says, to try and bang the goals in. It's a tough one with me with Antonio, because I do like him. He's been very, very good for us, but we really need to bring someone in to sort of work alongside him, because what it is, there's no one really to challenge him like in the team there. If Antonio has 5 bad games, he knows he's getting the next 5 because we've only got 1 striker at the club, and that's not how it should be, if that makes sense. But I can't question his ability. Can't question what he's done for the club. He's been really, really good, and I'll just say this: he just needs a bit of help. That's all I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just get to your comments in a second, Kent. But the one what springs to mind for me was his touch for Rapid Vienna. the ball to Rice. I would never have dreamed in a million years Antonio controlling the. And like you said, it's instinct, isn't it? If he had more time to think about it, he probably would have tried an overhead kick or something from there or something. Do you know what I mean?
If you watch Antonio closely and just for argument's sake, you're watching a game, you just keep your eye on Antonio. When he acts on instinct, he's very, very good, extremely good.
Yeah.
But when he has time, he gets a bit flustered. He's a bit all over the place. He's not sort of with it. He proved it the other day against Everton. He gets the ball, he runs at the players, he miscontrols the ball, then he gets the ball back, and then it goes out for a throw in. It's like, if he had a bit more technical ability, he'd be a phenomenal player. You know what I mean?
Right. We'll come back to Antonio at the end of the year, but I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Oh,
We'll start with you, James. How many goals is Michail Antonio getting this year?
He's got 6 now. I reckon he'll get about 13.
Jordan?
I'm going to be bold. I think he's going to get... I'll give him 18 this season, I think. Is this all competitions? Or is it
all
Premier
comps,
League?
yeah.
All comps, okay. I'd 18 then.
Jake?
Okay.
I'll go 15. I'll go in the middle. 15, I think. Nice rounded figure in the middle. But one thing I do want to ask you as well: are points in games where it's not really going well and it's not being too effective. I do notice that he gets quite frustrated and he drifts out to the wings. Do you think that's a good move, or would you prefer, lads, him to stay central?
James, you can go first, mate. If you want.
What it is, and Andy and Jordan will agree with this, is where he's a natural born winger, he's so used to going left and right. And that's the issue. That's the only problem that a lot of fans have. You can't question his work rate or his commitment, but when he gets frustrated, which Jake, you are right, he drifts from left to right and he tries to go searching for the ball instead of waiting for the ball to come to him.
Yeah. Jordan?
I can't really, I'm going to just be very vanilla and agree with that one because that's exactly it, really. It's a winger's instinct to, he, like I said, you can't question the work rate, but I think when that does happen, it's natural for him to want to go after the ball rather than play in his position sometimes.
The one thing what I will say is, and the game, I know it refers back to last year, was when we had that front three of Bowen, Haller, and Antonio, Southampton at home. Or was that the previous year? I'm getting confused now. Before, do you remember when he has someone with him? We've not really had someone up top with him since Haller's gone. So if we brought like a striker in and you had him as a 2,
Haller was with him, Andy.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, yeah. Do you see what I mean? Like when you have, when we get someone like that, I think he can drift wide because you've still got someone else there. But it's the system what we play, and hopefully, touch wood, with Newman coming in, we've got a gem on our hands. What we can get in January, and then playing him as a 2, I think we'll see the best of him.
I think what it is also that no one's really touched on is that we signed a medical officer or a new medical department, if I remember rightly, last season from West Brom. I might be wrong, but I'm sure we signed someone from like West Brom in regards of like injured players and things like that. And I think that's helped him stay fit, if I'm honest. Maybe Kent can sort of confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah. And since then, obviously, it's a tough one with him, really, because I'm not going to sit here and say that he's been amazing this season, because he's done very well, but last sort of 3 games, Southampton away, he got very frustrated yet again. Brentford, same thing, nothing. And even Sunday against Everton, he was good, but he was good for the work rate, but was he good for making Pickford do any saves? For me, he didn't really test Pickford from what I can remember.
Definitely. Right, we'll quickly add these comments because Kent, sorry Kent, I apologise. He's been on, so he's referring to the one at Newcastle. The ball went in like a bullet. Yeah, the power he got in that. We'll also have punch when Antonio goes if it's the owner of it's more is choosing the striker because we can't find no one. finishes like Carlton Cole. 20 in all competitions if he stays fit, 13 otherwise, and goes hunting the ball down, doesn't have anything. Yeah, I agree, Kent. With regards to Antonio's goals, I'm going in. I'm going 23 goals in all competitions.
My lord, Andy Miles, he's gone in.
Just to mix it up, love it.
Honestly, I think literally the back end of the season is just going to be on fire. I don't know. Since Newman's come in, I don't know if you saw or we've watched the interview. What he's done on the website. What he said is, he sort of said it as well. The club's good, but he said he's come here for the manager. So obviously he's got that relationship with Moyes. Moyes has told him what he wants, and in Newman I trust. And I've just got this feeling, January we're just going to get these couple of gems, and we're just going to even push on more. And Antonio's going to be the front of it. That's my opinion.
What do you think? What do you think, though, Andy? We need to make Antonio better than what he is now.
Strike partner. I think we need to go 2 up top. I think we need to be brave and go 2 up. Not in every game, like not against like Man United, but like the bottom half teams at home, you're going to attack them. Bring 2 strikers in. Totally different ball game. Totally different ball game.
Have that option now, I agree.
So do we need 3? Do we need 2 strikers then in the next window?
Yeah. Jordan, sorry, mate. Do you want to add anything to that?
No. I think there are some games where it is crying out for 2 up top, but just trying to think who we could get in today's market.
One player that
I would have been interested to see if we could have got someone like a Tammy Abraham in, whether that would have been a good partnership. But
the one that I just want to say is 1 second. I'll let you talk, boy. One player that I've said about was Ivan Toney. I really wanted that man at West Ham United, and sadly, he's doing it for Brentford. He's doing it for the wrong club. They can come across the east side of London, and I must admit, Tammy Abraham's a good shout. Someone like Origi would have been a good shout.
Yeah.
Liverpool, someone like that, maybe would have done something for us. But yeah, go on in, Jake.
Right, one player that we have been linked with, and it's been in the news in the last week or so, was Andrea Bellotti, striker, scores goals.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Why not? 15 million quid's been bounded around. Why not? James is pulling a really bad face, but
do you know what it is with that one? We've had it before. We had it with Diamanti many years ago. Very good. And then I don't know what it was with the Italians. They have one good season sometimes and they go missing, especially up front for us. Even though Di Canio was a legend, Di Canio had some games where he just didn't fancy it sometimes. So Bellotti, 15 mil is a good fee, but I don't know. I just think we should be aiming higher for that. Younger, fresher, someone like an Ivan Toney, for instance, who is sort of like 22, 23, who we can go and sign and get 8 years out of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Ken, before we're just going to talk about. Sorry, Kate. We're just going to talk about his overall goals after. But Ken, who do you reckon will be a good partner for Antonio? Go on, Jake. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I think he's scored nearly. How many goals? Right. I've forgotten the number now. This is going to annoy me. How many career goals he scored? I'm going to find it. Give me 2 seconds. Andrea Bellotti. Right then. This is right off the cuff. Right. I'm going to find it. I believe it's something like 150 career goals for Andrea Bellotti. He scores goals. He's 27 years old. You can get a couple of years out of him. I think for 15 million quid, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me give you sort of a choice. Would you rather have Origi or Bellotti?
Origi.
No, Bellotti for me.
I look at it. Origi's 26 years old. Bellotti's 27. Origi has Premier League experience. I think Bellotti would score more goals if he adapts to the Premier League. It's difficult because I think Bellotti, if we can get him firing with the right players around him, I think he can be a weapon. Origi, I like him. I wish we bought him, but I believe the better striker is Belotti, but it's just the key whether he can adapt to the Premier League, because we know Divock Origi can play in the Premier League. He plays for Liverpool, sits on the bench, comes on, scores vital goals every now and then. It's a difficult call.
You can't sit on that fence, Jake. Get off that fence, boy.
I just would go for another person with more pace, because the Premier League, as well, just football in general, how it's evolving, it's all about pace and power. To be honest, I think personally.
But you say that, like, Harry Kane hasn't got the pace and the power.
Yeah, but look at him this season; he's dreadful this year.
How much?
I know he's got the players around him, but I personally, just for me, if I was a manager and the way I like to play football, you know, it's never going to happen. But I would love to see Adama Traore alongside Antonio.
Oh Christ!
How much, James? James, how much do you reckon we could get Origi for? And then I'll answer your question.
I think Origi at Liverpool, if you said 17 million, which I think is a good price for a geezer who's 26, I think he would come. But you've got to give him reassurances. The one there's him, there's Abraham, who was there, and we just let go. I agree with Jordan, though. I must admit, one thing I will say is one thing West Ham do lack is pace. If you take, say our front four, for instance, three of them are pace merchants, and Fornells isn't really a fast player. Like Bowen's fast, Ben Rama's lively, Antonio's quick. But other than that, we haven't really got any pace. And I agree. We need someone who can sort of, an Ismail Sarr or someone like that from Watford, who's a good player. Do you know what I mean? I think if he got the ball, you know that he's going to roast players. Do you know what I mean?
He's tasty. Sar's tasty, but do you think he's more of a winger, James? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't he? Don't you think he's just a bit too similar? You know, we've got Vlasic, Ben Rama, Bowen, Fornells. Do you think we need another one of those type of players?
One thing with Ismail Sarr, he's got the speed though, mate, and he's got the sort of we've only got to look at the man on the screen there. Antonio was a winger once. If we're going to keep converting wingers into strikers, then we need to go for people who are quite lively, not sort of semi-fast. They need to be like Bowen. I think Bowen's been a breath of fresh air this year, and if Bowen can start scoring goals, then we've got a 60 million plus player on our hand. But it's just when he scores the goals, in my opinion.
Kent's just said there, we're a cup team this season. I've got a feeling. I hope so, Kent. I really do. And Lingard type and a striker. Belotti not got the running in Moyes' team. You know, plenty of running. Hopefully, like I said, Newman I trust. I think he will. I think he'll get us the strikers we need.
See, one of the players that we missed out on, I watched him last night tear Arsenal to bits, was Edouard. He's another one. I looked at him and I thought, you know what? I watched him last night and he was very, very good. And it's just we need to go out and I do agree with Andy. Playing the two up front can work because then you can have a playmaker in behind, or I don't know what system you'd play. Would it be a 4-3-1-2 or something like that if you play two up top? I don't know, but we need some sort of we need Antonio to have competition and help more than anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. Before we go, gents, I thought I'd put it up here. His goals for position. So obviously, Michail Antonio, 190 appearances, 54 goals, and 31 assists, and he's had 79 appearances as a striker and 27 goals and 12 assists. So
sums it up, doesn't it?
It's not a bad record, really, when you think about it.
I've got a little question for all of you before we all sort of wrap this up.
Yeah.
First thing, how many appearances does Michail Antonio do for West Ham before he either leaves or retires? And how many goals does he score before he leaves and retires?
How old is he now?
He's
31.
30.
31.
He's 31. Yes. I don't think he's 30. I don't think he's that young.
He has come out and said he wants to retire at West Ham. I do know that.
He's 31. 32 in March.
I would say.
I think he'll get 100 goals for the club before he leaves or retires.
I would say more the 80 region, but yeah, it's his injuries. It's his thing. Because the older he gets, the more he's going to be injury prone.
Does he make 300 appearances for West Ham? He's on 190 now. So don't forget that's all competitions. That is. So that's cup games, that's Europa League games, everything.
Well, he's been at West Ham 6 years, and he's done 190 appearances in 6 years. So
he was injured. He was injured in one of them. About
and he's still got quite a lot.
I reckon 250.
Yeah, so somewhere around there. That's like 2 and a bit seasons, I reckon. I don't think he'll get near that 300 mark personally.
I'm going to say about 280. I reckon. I was
going to say 270, 280.
Yeah, I think I reckon he have played to about he's 35, so I reckon you get 4 years out of it. He'll be like Angelo O'Connor.
Get to 80, 90 goals. I think he'll probably just creep under 100.
Yeah, so yeah.
No, not when he smashes in another 19 goals. He's getting closer. He's going to get another 19 goals or something this season. Imagine it.
Yeah, imagine.
But no, before we go, Kent's just saying against striker. Yeah, I've got a Euro expert coming on with me and Jazz at 9 o'clock. So he's going to be giving us all the insight with regards to Genk. So obviously we'll mention that striker. We'll get more info out of him. But yeah, no to Origi. But there's a Campbell at Stoke, been injured, but be a typical Moyes signing.
I think, if I remember rightly, that's Kevin Campbell, ex-Arsenal striker's son, I think. Yeah. I think it is. I'm sure it is. Maybe Kent can tell us, but I'm sure that's Kevin Campbell's son he's on about there. Good player.
Definitely.
Make sure you tune in at 9 o'clock because that'll be a good show. Euro Experts come on my show. He's very informative. He's got everything, whether it's from down or in his brain. He is the man you want for the Europa League games. He will give you all the information. So make sure you tune in, subscribe, do all of that jazz here on the West Ham.
Oh yeah, you said that again. But no, before we go, we'll start from top to bottom. People, James, because I've actually had 2 new subscribers, so we've been on the show, so people might not know who you are. So do you want to let people know who you are?
You can find me on E20 Zone TV. It's my channel. I'm doing sort of a bit of everything really. Vlog from time to time, betting preview, betting tips, things like that. Come and check me out. West Ham related, football related.
Yeah, definitely.
Zone TV and get James's 4 subscribers back.
I know, can't believe it.
Jordan.
Shocked.
So I do run a YouTube channel, but it is not football or West Ham related. If you are into your deep, culty kind of stuff, you can check my channel out on YouTube. It's called The Shunned Experience. Just a little bit of background. I'm not now, but I was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but now I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness / activist and cult activist. So I'm sort of have a YouTube channel to expose the more darker side to the organization. You can find me on Twitter, like I said, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. But it's nice to come on and talk about something a bit more non-religious. So it's nice to do a bit of West Ham. So
definitely.
You can find my YouTube
like I said,
there.
Jordan, mate, I spoke today. You're part of the West Ham Reunited family, so when you want to come on, you're more than welcome to.
I appreciate that, mate. Lovely, thank you.
And finally, we've got Jake. Who are you?
I don't know. Who are you? Yeah, West Ham unofficial. If you haven't found me, but don't care about that. What you want to do? You want to get James's 4 subscribers. Well, we need to get James to 150. We need to get Andy to 250. We need to get Jordan to wherever 6,000
is my next mile. I'm on 1,700 at the minute, so
there we go. 1,700. Fastly approaching me on 18.6.
Oh, the race is on.
I think it's more difficult for you guys because you've got I have a niche anyway, but I think numbers games is different. I think a bit more difficult with having a football YouTube channel. If you're a West Ham fan, I suppose, isn't it? I don't know what it's like with other channels and stuff.
But the thing is, though, what I love, it's sort of like your channel anyway, is everyone's got an opinion. We might not agree with it and stuff like that. And this is what I love doing this channel. And like you said, West Ham Reunited, we're about reuniting the old West Ham with the new. And this is what we've done tonight. Really, we've gone back in the past. The last year at the Boleyn, like I know it's depressing sometimes to think that we've gone from our church show to speak, sort of the thing, but we haven't. And before we go, Kent is saying 85 appearances and another 35 goals for Antonio. Not a bad shout.
He's spoken. Kent has spoken.
Mandy, you're saying 2-2. Is that Liverpool Atletico you're on about? Because I think that was 2-1 Liverpool.
Do you quickly want to do match predictions for Thursday and Sunday whilst we're on the subject of football?
Jazzy.
Go on in. You're spoiling a bit of it, so people come back in 20 minutes. But we'll start with you, Jake, at the top. What are you going for? Quick score for Sunday and Thursday.
Christ, I can't lie, I haven't even thought about it yet. But Thursday night, let's go straight off the cuff. Thursday night, I think we'll beat Genk. I think they'll score, though. I'm going to go for a 2-1 West Ham win. Whilst I'm sailing off on my cruise on Sunday, where we beat Spurs, where Michail Antonio destroys Eric Dyer. We're going to beat Spurs, of course we are. We're going to nick it 1-0 yet again. Back-to-back 1-0 victories in the Premier League. Proper David Moyes style. But let's all have a little bit of appreciation for this man. He's been on here for 1 hour and 6 minutes. He's now going to go off for a 15-minute break and come back on again and do an hour plus preview.
Yeah, thanks, mate. No, like I said, originally the preview weren't meant to be tonight. I just wanted to get a video out, and like I said with Antonio, but like I said, this channel is not. It's like people like Kent, Peter, obviously you guys coming on, and like what everyone says on the YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel is nothing without your audience. So. And the guests who have come on, so I really, really do appreciate it, gents, for coming on a Tuesday evening when you could be watching the football.
I don't want to watch that Mickey Mouse tournament. It's all about Thursday.
It's all about Thursday.
Yeah. No, James, quickly, what about you for the scores?
I think Genk will be a professional job. I think we'll win 2-0. I think we'll come out of the traps early. We'll get a couple of goals, and then we have to see it out. Yeah. Sunday. It's a game I hate, mate. It's a game I hate. It's a game I look at every season, home and away, and see when we got them lot. And I don't want to lose this game. That's the one thing. So I'm going to say a 2-1 win. But it could go anyway. We've seen it before. It could be 3-2 them, 3-2 us, 2-2, 3-2. We just don't know. But as long as we get the W on Sunday, I couldn't care less.
What about Thursday as well, mate?
2-0 to us against Genk.
And Jordan?
I think the Genk game's got 2-0 written all over it. I think we'll score within the first 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll do similar to what we did in the last game and sort of get a late-ish game winner to kill the game off. Sunday, I don't see us losing Sunday. I will say that. I think it could be a draw, but I think if one team was to win the game, I'm going to go West Ham 2-1. But it could be a 2-2 or a 1-1. But I don't see us losing Sunday personally, because I think the way we're playing, the character we showed against Everton and how solid we did look at the back, I think we're going to be quite difficult to beat. But I do see Antonio scoring Sunday, absolutely. We'll say that whilst we're talking about the man tonight.
I'm going 4-1 on Thursday. I think they'll be. I think it's going to be a very open. Genk have got to go for it. They want to try and get them level on points with us, so I can see the game being very open. And on Sunday, I'm going 3-1. 3-1.
Optimism, the optimism. I love it.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. And with regards to your comments, James, what you said earlier, yeah, it is Kevin Campbell's son. He was at Man City, a kid, and went to Stoke, ripped it up. And I don't do YouTube. I know you don't, Kent, but what you do in the chat, your knowledge is amazing. And Mandy's just saying, 1 second. Take a draw. No idea for Spurs. Peter's saying 2-1 or 3-1 to us. Perfect. And man, wow, 4-1. I know, Mandy. I'm going for it. I'm being brave. But I'd like to thank our guest, Jake from West Ham Unofficial. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me on.
James, he's on his own TV. Thank you very much, mate.
Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. And Jordan, it's a pleasure, mate. Thank you for coming on. First appearance on the channel.
More than any time I come on, any mate. It was brilliant. Thank you very much. And Come on, you Irons.
Yeah, come on, you Irons. And before we go as well, Kent is going 2-1 Thursday and 3-2 on Sunday. Goal fest. Yeah.
Love it.
And thank you for everyone in the chat. Means a lot. And hang on, one comment before we go. Yarmolenko to score.
Who?
Oh, we done so well, Joe. Not talking about him really, apart from his magnificent performance at Everton a couple of years ago, and then he gets mentioned. But no, once again, thanks everyone in the chat. Means a lot. And yeah, come on, you Irons.
Subscribe to West Ham Reunited.
Thank you. Take care, people.